Well, hi again, folks. I'm Greg Flynn, the Public Information Director for the City of Pearl, and we are on location today as we are blessed to be able to have a conversation with our governor, Tate Reeves, as he not only runs state business now, but he's trying to earn himself a second term here as the governor for the state of Mississippi. And it is Halloween we're talking on today. So, Governor, what are you going as tonight?
Happy Halloween to everybody. I've been working so hard, both doing my official job and campaigning. I haven't had time to think about it, but I'm sure that my three daughters have decided what I'm going to be dressed as tonight, and we'll go from there.
Well, the hardest question you're going to face all day today, I promise you. I'm going to ask you, what's your favorite candy?
Look, I like all candies. I love vanilla ice cream, but Kit Kats, peanut M&Ms, you give me any of those options and I'm pretty likely to take you up on it.
You can never go wrong with a Kit Kat. So good. Well, Governor, I guess, as you approach an incoming election, just as you look back here on your first term, what do you love about being governor?
Well, I love helping people. I love having the opportunity to work with companies around the country and around the globe and bring more positive economic development to our state, more jobs to our state. And I really enjoy bringing those jobs to our state that pay wages that are much higher than the average of the counties in which these new companies are locating. So just last week, for instance, we were over in Noxubee County and we announced a $420 million capital investment in Noxubee County, in which they are creating 160 new jobs that are paying between $60,000 and $70,000 a year, almost twice the average of that particular county. And so yesterday we had PACCAR up in the Golden Triangle. This was a particularly special announcement because they've been here for 15 years. And they announced yesterday that they love being in Mississippi and they're going to invest $200 million more at their facility in the Golden Triangle and create another 100 jobs in our state. And so they've got more room to grow, by the way. It's a Fortune 200 company that are building trucks, and it's just a great partnership. But that's really what I love to do, is the economic development, bringing jobs to our state. And I love seeing people that have upward mobility, because a job is more than a paycheck. A job is upward mobility for not only yourself, but for your kids and ultimately your grandkids. And so that's what we really are focused on. And we've had tremendous success, more success than ever in the history of the state.
Well, and I think it leads to more longevity for people. Back in the day, people would stay somewhere 20 years at a company and devote themselves to it. But because of shrinking wages, I think you saw a lot more bouncing around. So with these great jobs, you're probably looking at people staying located where they are because they have a good paying job.
Well, that's exactly right. And that's one of the reasons, Greg, that we spend a lot of time talking about and ultimately building our workforce development and workforce training systems in our state. Because what we want to do is we want to train people not just for a job, but for a career. We're training them whether you're a welder or you're going into the plumbing world or you're in the HVAC business or you're a shipbuilder on the coast. We're training these individuals to be diesel mechanics or to be truck drivers, because in all of those careers that I just mentioned, you can have a job that pays wages that are significantly greater than the state average, and that it feels much more like a career than it feels like a job.
Well, and I know one of the things that you've really focused on is getting those trade schools, vocational, VOTEC jobs, because it's not all about being a college degree with a white collar. Those blue collar jobs are what drive this state and ultimately pay you a lot more money.
100%. We need more college graduates in Mississippi, and so we encourage those individuals that want to go get a degree to get a degree in a field where they can get a job in the state of Mississippi. But we also have to realize that even in the best of times, we're going to have 25% of our kids, maybe 30% of our high school graduates attend college, and somewhere between 2/3 and 3/4 are not going to attend college, and that's okay.
Right.
That's okay. In fact, not only is it okay, it's perfectly fine, because there are so many job openings in our state where if you have a skill, then you can get a good job paying really good wages. I often use the example of diesel mechanics because in Rankin County and really throughout the state of Mississippi, there are a lot of job openings for diesel mechanics, and the average diesel mechanic starts at about $75,000 a year, and within 2 to 3 years of service, you can make over 6 figures, and you can do that for the rest of your career. It's rewarding. You're fixing things, you're using your hands, and you're getting paid a lot of money to do it. And so that's just one example of what we're trying to focus on to bring the people of our state and the skills that they have in line with the actual jobs that are open. And we've had tremendous success at it, and it's the reason we have the lowest unemployment rate in state history. It's the reason we have more people working today than at any time in state history, and it's the reason that our per capita income, our wages, are up almost 30% since I've been governor, and that's a good story.
You mentioned Rankin County, and it's just a shining example for the entire state, the economic boom that you've seen under your administration. It just continues to grow, even when you think, okay, they're about done. No, Rankin County just keeps finding a way.
No doubt about it. Look, I was so blessed to grow up down in Florence. My family's business has been located in Pearl for basically my entire life. And what we've seen over those nearly 50 years is steady economic growth for the whole county year after year after year. It starts with quality leadership. We've got quality leadership at the county level. We've got quality leadership at the city level. And I will tell you that it's just really a sight to see and very positive that we have such good economic statistics happening in my home county.
Well, and you look at, I know you're excited about having all these new arteries open up. The East Metro Parkway about to open. MDOT has taken over the West Rankin Parkway project. We're looking at that in the spring and the summer. So you're finding ways to move people north and south, not just east and west through the county.
That's exactly right. You got Highway 25 going east and west, which has obviously been 6-laned out to Castlewood. You've got the interstate, Interstate 20 going east and west there in the middle of the county. And what we've got to be able to do is connect Brandon and Flowood, connect Pearl and Flowood again, because that's opening up developable land throughout the county in places where people want to live. And so you're going to continue to see population growth along those 2 north-south corridors. You're going to continue to see retail growth along those 2 north-south corridors. And you just got a lot of good things happening throughout Rankin County and throughout, honestly, the state of Mississippi.
Well, one thing that the folks in Pearl are very appreciative of, especially our teachers, which also opens up statewide, is that, man, they got a pretty good pay raise this past year.
The largest pay raise in state history have been passed under my administration in the last 4 years. And honestly, Greg, it's an example of promises made, promises kept. When I ran 4 years ago, I said, if you elect me governor, we're going to raise teacher pay to the southeastern average of $4,300 for every teacher. We've actually raised teacher pay $6,100 during those 4 years, and we're not done. We've got more work to do. We need to continue to raise teacher pay, because what we know about the Biden administration is their terrible policies on energy has caused the price of everything to go up. And so we're going to have to keep up. It's unfortunate that the Biden administration takes their war on energy and it destroys middle-class families across Mississippi and across America, but that's exactly what's happened. And so we got to continue to try to raise pay for our teachers and others.
As you look forward to a potential second term, economically, what would be your vision given what's happening in Washington? And there's only so much you can do, given what comes down, inflation rates, that sort of thing. What's on your agenda to help Mississippians with the economy and inflation?
Well, the first thing that's going to be on our agenda once I get reelected next Tuesday, if the people of Mississippi see fit to do so, is we're going to continue to fight the current administration in Washington, D.C. We're going to continue to fight the Biden administration. That's a clear distinction between myself and my Democrat opponent, who has taken 80% of his money from out of state. The fact is, we will stand up to the Biden administration when they try to do silly things, and my opponent and his team will not. But we're also going to continue to focus on growing our economy in Mississippi. We can't change the policies of the Biden administration, but we can work to make sure that he's no longer president after 2024. But we're going to keep talking to companies that want to locate here. I will tell you, Greg, one of the big challenges I've had in the last 6 months is I got a full-time job trying to bring new jobs to Mississippi and a full-time job campaigning. And so it's kind of kept us very busy. But I will tell you, we have got a lot of potential announcements coming as soon as we get through this election. There's a lot of companies out there that are looking at Mississippi, and it's because of what they saw during the global pandemic, where blue state governors shut down their economies. Folks like Mississippi kept our economy open. And companies around the globe looked at that and said, hey, we want people like those Mississippians to show up and work for us. And that's why we're being so successful now, is we work really hard at economic development, but at the end of the day, it's because of our people.
Final question for you. I know one of your main agenda items is the state income tax, and either reducing it, finding a way. It's not so easy to just say, oh, we're going to cut it, because there's a lot of different moving parts to that. Where do you see us going with the state income tax?
Well, I'll tell you, I've never seen a tax cut that I didn't like, as long as it doesn't raise taxes on other people. And so my goal is to eliminate the income tax. We compete every day for people with population and for jobs, with Texas to our west, Florida to our east, and Tennessee to our north. And while we have distinct advantages relative to them in some ways, we also have disadvantages. And one of those disadvantages is that we have an income tax in Mississippi and they do not. So they have a competitive advantage on us in that regard. And so we're going to work to eliminate the income tax. That way we allow people to keep more of their money in their pocket. I'm proud of the fact that in 2016, we passed the largest tax cut in Mississippi history. I'm proud of the fact in 2021 we came back and passed an even larger tax cut. Since I've been Lieutenant Governor and Governor, we've reduced taxes by the people of Mississippi by $1.2 billion in tax cuts. And our revenues are still up more than they've ever been, because that's what happens when you let people keep more of their money. And we're going to continue to fight to do that.
One more thing before we go. I know this guy's pretty happy about the way things are going in Oxford at Hotty Toddy Land up there. You enjoying this football season that Lane Kiffin's putting together?
Well, you know, I was on campus this past weekend for the Vanderbilt game. You know, it's a lot easier to run for re-election when all of our teams are doing well, and so I'm rooting for all of our teams to do well. And this upcoming weekend certainly gives us an opportunity to see that. But look, Ole Miss is having the potential of a very special year. 7-1 with Texas A&M coming to town. If they're successful, they'll be 8-1 going to Georgia the Saturday after the election. That'll be a big one. Talk
about two top 10 teams at that point, because Ole Miss is right there at number 10 now, and that's going to be something big for our state, just to be able to showcase what we have here. Well, the fact is, Greg, we are winning at economic development. We are winning at education with our fourth grade readers and fourth grade math scores soaring off the charts, and we're winning at football too. It just shows you that in Mississippi, that if we invest in our people, that we can compete against anyone, anywhere in the world. And that's really the message I'm trying to bring to the people during this campaign. Very good. Well, Governor, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're unbelievably busy with running the state and also your campaign, but good luck to you. Thank you so much. Tuesday, November the 7th. That's right. Everybody remember, get out and vote. Whichever way you want to go. That's right. Please get out to the polls. It is our God-given right to go out and vote, and we should not take that for granted. So until next time, for Governor Tate Reeves, I'm Greg Flynn. Y'all have a great day.